Welcome to the Reschool'd podcast, the show that discusses all the things that schools may have missed, with your hosts AJ Kuti and Jason Gordon.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We are the Reschool'd podcast, the show that discusses all the things that schools may not have prepared you for. And always, I am AJ, and sitting across from me, Jason. Jason, how are you doing?
Doing great, AJ. It's a celebratory day.
No kidding. This is our 52nd episode, which means this is essentially our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, happy
our
birthday,
1 year birthday.
man.
Yeah, happy birthday to you. You're looking good for 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, I've only aged 10 years. It's awesome. I expected to age more.
Yeah, no, it's been a fun 52 weeks, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. How about you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, getting online, talking about these subjects, things we care about, I don't know. It is a form of therapy, I'd say.
Yeah, I completely agree. And in this episode, because it is such a big, I guess you would say, milestone for us, because it is 1 year for us, we decided to do a little something different. We wanted to kind of look at back at the last year. We wanted to kind of do a recap, kind of go back through the memories of what we've created over the past year, instead of talking about a specific topic. So does that sound good to you?
I find myself wanting to sing Andrew Lloyd Webber Cat's Memories. Memories.
Yeah, we could. I don't think we need to do that, but we could, I guess.
And if you're out there listening and you actually know what that is, and you're not a parent, I am proud of you. Good job. You'll do great in college.
I didn't. Now I can honestly. I knew what song you were referring to, but I didn't know it until you said the name of the song. I didn't know who wrote it, where it came from, or anything like that.
Hey, you're not a Broadway musical fan? I'm
not really not, and it's not because like I just don't like them. I just never got into them. I'm more of the action movie, so you don't see a whole lot of like, military action in musicals. Yeah, that's a genre that might take off though.
Yeah, have you seen Hamilton? Right? There's
No, I haven't. I have not seen that.
Oh man, you are missing out on a work of art. That is all.
I think everybody and their brother has seen that, because every time I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, we're going to go see Hamilton." This is like the third time I've seen it. And I'm like, I have not seen it once. I don't know anything about it.
I've seen it 3 times in the theater. Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely amazing. And I'm not going to tell you anything about it because it might ruin it for you, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
so, there you go. That's it.
I'm assuming it's about Alexander Hamilton.
You are accurate. That is right. It is about Alexander Hamilton.
That's the extent of my knowledge right there.
That's all you need. And go in from there.
There you go.
There you go. You can even watch it on, it's recorded. Lin-Manuel Miranda was the writer and the composer. He worked with another guy for the composition, but he's at least the writer of the original songs. Anyway, so there's a recording where, he actually acts in it and stuff like that. I think it's available on Disney Plus. Yeah, I think
I have that. I can watch it.
So yeah, try to watch that. You won't regret it. It's excellent.
I may have to take you up on that and watch it. So
before we jump into this, all right, celebrate with us. Go to our website. Drop us a happy birthday line, do whatever, you want to in that regard. But just let us know you're listening. And if you got anything you want to hear for the coming year, tell us about it. Let us know. Always social media handles. You can do the exact same thing. Reach out to us. Let us know what you're interested in. And again, like I say, give us all those stars on the podcast platform. So
that would be a birthday present that we would really enjoy.
Yeah, we would appreciate that.
Lots of stars.
So that's what we're asking for our birthday. We want you to give us 5 stars. Or
if only my kids asked that for their birthday. All right, well, let's get into the show. Quick question. What has been your favorite episode that we've recorded?
Motivation. I like that one.
Oh, interesting.
Talking about how like internal needs meet external environment, and that's really going to be your guiding path. I saw this. I was on Facebook the other day. I still every now and then check Facebook.
What are you, 80?
Yeah, I know, right? But I check Facebook. I don't know whether somebody sent me a message or whatever, but they got these reels on there now that's kind of like TikTok.
Oh, I love those.
I was sliding through them really quickly, and there was one, and it had that a George Clooney movie where he's talking to a guy about his dreams, ambitions type things. And he, it's a monologue that I can't, well, it's actually a little back and forth, right? And it's got some vulgarity in it, so I can't really repeat it on here. But anyway, basically, it was in essence, talking about motivation in life and that type of thing. And that's one of my big, driving forces for this, right? College, at least, is one of those big things you do in life, and it will change the direction of your life like crazy. Not just the college experience, but what you take away from it and things like that. So the whole motivation piece just runs parallel to it the whole time, right? It's ultimately saying, who are you as a person, and how does your external environment engage you long term? Because it's the best we can do, right? I mean, by the time we're said and done, we just hope we're engaged a lot. And if we were, and we made a little traction, and made a little headway towards what we were engaged in, that's the key to contentment, So there you go. What about you? What was your favorite?
Mine, I mean, all the episodes are good, and I enjoy the serious ones that we do. But my favorite's one is where we can just cut loose and have fun, and we're laughing and joking, and those are the ones that resonate the most with me. Like, we can really see our personalities come out. It's not just, it's like I said, it's not a serious topic, or we're not kind of focused on really helping the listeners out in one specific area, but we're just kind of showing who we are and our experiences. I love those.
Yeah, those are the ones. Those are good, aren't they? Like when we could just, kind of just talk about what we've seen,
cut loose and have fun. Like, we've done, partying at school, or those kind of ones, or what we've done during school. I've loved those. Those are the ones that's the most meaningful, the most that has the biggest impression in my memory of the episodes that we've had, because those are just more my style.
Yeah, those have kept it lively. I've enjoyed those too.
Oh yeah, and I do need to shout out our 2 episodes that we had guest speakers. Those were a lot of fun too, even though they picked on me a lot. But
absolutely, we got to do more of that in the coming.
Yeah. So. Well, let's get into the main questions. How have you seen the show change over the course of a year?
Well, I would say starting out, we weren't as comfortable. Now we're more comfortable talking. Right, that would be number 1. But 2, we started out being so instructive on this is what you need to know. Here you go, that type of thing, and that's good. And like, I think over this year we built up a pretty solid library that people can look back on at any point in time and say, this is evergreen, right? I could watch it now, I could watch it 10 years from now. It's still going to be pretty relevant. So, but we've slowly shifted to more. This was our experience on things. Maybe, maybe you take something from that. Maybe you won't.
I would definitely say the number of we've said within the during a show has decreased, hopefully, dramatically. We've gotten a lot. Well, there's one right there. We've got a lot more comfortable. We
took off our
with
thinking
speaking.
hats.
We did. We just started talking.
Just quit thinking and just talk, and there you go. It flows a little better.
It's helped me in class, because I know I used to say a lot in class, and now I take off the thinking cap, just go with it, go with what I'm comfortable with, and it comes out a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes it more enjoyable too, because
it does. It makes editing a whole lot easier too.
Feels awkward, and I don't know, just interrupts everything.
I got to be a lot more comfortable with the silence. That was always my issue, because I had to cut the silence with an just to get it there, and I still have some tendencies. I still catch myself with tendencies of saying different things just to cut the silence a little bit. So,
well, if you've noticed when you hear me speak, I pause a lot, and what's happening is I'm looking for the next word to make it precise. When you talk to me just in generally everyday public, right? I speak fairly consistently. I don't do all these pauses throughout because I don't have to be as precise. I'm just saying words. It doesn't matter, not being recorded. And here, I'm always thinking, well, make sure I say the right word. Make sure I'm not saying something that's recorded and misinterpreted, that type of thing. So just like, you remember, did you ever watch speeches by President Obama when he was in office? A lot of our listeners, I think, will be too young for that because that was quite a while ago.
That's so sad.
I know.
Just to think about that.
5 or 6 years go by quickly, right?
It does.
But he was very, very measured in his speech, and he was very staccato in his speaking because he was always looking for the very precise word. And honestly, you could record the things he said and transcribe it, and it would almost be like it was written because he was very precise. He spoke as if he was writing in many ways, where you'd catch him in other scenarios where he'd speak quickly, and then you realize, okay, he's not using as sharp, as pointed, as targeted words, and that was what it was, right? So I find myself in the exact same scenario. I'm trying to be extremely precise, and then it makes me sound a little robotic. So anyway,
I'm anything but precise.
Yeah, the episodes where we can just cut up and just talk more, I'm a lot less like I'm doing now, right? I'm more just free flowing. The words just flow. So
I remember when I started off teaching that it was hard for me because I naturally just speak without thinking. I mean, ADD is crap. And I would be in class and somebody would ask me a stupid question, and before I could think, don't reply stupid. It already come out of my mouth. I'm like, oh crap. So I've had to simmer that down a lot. And it's a hard thing to do when somebody asks you a stupid question. It's so hard not to come back with a quick one. But I've had to learn.
Well, like I say, we talked about this maybe in the last episode we published. I get horrible questions all the time by people who did not read anything, and it's nothing but pure opinion about not how something works or what is the standard that applies. It's just, well, I think this. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I'm glad you think that. But
I think you're wrong.
No relevance to the way it works or, right, the standard that applies. So good for you.
Well, in this experience, what have you learned about yourself?
Well, I learned that I need something like this. I need an outlet. I need to feel like I'm talking about things that I know. It's like writing things down, right? We're just recording and throwing it out there to the world. So I'm super proud of this.
Yeah.
We don't have a huge listener base yet, but I'm super proud of, those who actually listen and care and get through this. So I've learned a lot about myself in terms of why this is motivating for me to do. So that's been a great thing. What about you? What have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. There's something I came to you, I had this idea and I wanted to do this, and I actually originally started with a couple episodes of my brother, but he moved away and then it kind of just got paused, and then we had COVID, and I came to you and I had this idea, and your passion about talking about these things. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, when I first brought you up this idea, I think we talked for like an hour just on different things different areas we can go with it. And just to see your passion that quickly, I needed somebody like that had that other side of the equation, the passion. Because I've always told people I have a lot of ideas, but I'm miserable at getting them implemented. And I needed somebody that drove me. And once I learned that, I thoroughly enjoyed this process. And I'm like you, this is something that I feel like I needed. This is my creative outlet. And I've said this on many episodes. You can't be creative in accounting. That's going to put you in jail. I needed some kind of creative outlet. And I used to do woodworking. I still do a little bit, but this has been really a fun creative outlet for me that's different. My kids love it. They come and like to record on stuff too. So I've just all around loved this experience, and it's given me a new appreciation for this area of I guess you would say media. I mean, this is media in itself, and being able to put it out there as a producer for all the consumers out there that want to listen to this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, and it's marked for posterity. If nobody ever listens to our stuff again, we can at least say, look, we did that. We tried.
We had a podcast that had tens of listeners.
Tens of loyal fans.
5 of them are which in my family. So here's an interesting question. What have you learned about your co-host?
Well, AJ, I think I already knew most of the things I learned about you. You're a charismatic, fun-loving guy who cares more about that than just about anything else. And I did learn your history and your past, how you fell into what you're doing now
Yeah.
and stuff. That's been pretty interesting. What about you? What have you learned about me?
I mean, I think one of the things about this, about our relationship, is we've already worked together. You know, we work at the same school, so we know each other. We see each other, especially like in faculty meetings and stuff like that. So we kind of knew each other a little bit. But you're just overall knowledge on stuff is actually, because I mean, again, the only area I get to see you really in is your area in school, which is law. Or your primary area is in law, and your knowledge on just general stuff going through has been amazing.
Oh, thank you.
To see. Yeah, you're very sharp person. It's kind of I've always prided myself on, I know a lot about a little, but not a little about a lot. And I think you know more on a lot than I do. I've always kind of gravitated towards just kind of learning, but I don't go in depth in different topics. And I think you go way more in depth, and that's really interesting to be able to learn from you in that area.
Well, I appreciate that. I will take that as a compliment. Might throw it down on the resume. Actually, you just made the reference list, my friend. You just made the reference list, right? If I ever need a reference, so you're on there now. Good.
Well, you know, and one other thing, and that kind of what you just to see you outside of the school setting and being able to cut up, that was something I didn't get to see a whole lot in the faculty meetings and stuff like that. And to see you on, as we record, to be able to just cut loose and crack a joke, and that's fun. That's a whole nother side of you.
Yeah, jokes don't come across as well during faculty meetings, unless you're running the show, and I'm almost never running the show.
I've tried to implement some jokes in there. I will say, and we both know this person. We have one coworker that is really good at one-liners in the faculty meetings.
It is like a never-ending flow, right?
It's awesome.
he's amazing. But it's almost like you can expect it. Like you don't know what's serious because everything's a one-liner.
That is true, and that's actually one of the persons that we're hoping to get on the show in the next year. The next series.
Well, that's episodes. We were going to ask each other, what do you think should change going forward in the next year? That was one I was going to throw out there. I think we need to bring some more people on the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Got to hear.
Yeah, we had such a good experience with the two that came on this past year, and I would love to bring more on because it brings a different perspective. Having that third person on there really kind of brings a different dynamic to the episodes. So I would definitely agree with you on that.
And eventually, I want to get to the point too where we're teaching less, right? We're trying to say, doing less of this is how this works, and just more of this is our point of view on things type scenario. Just us kind of kicking it around. We might have some other experts come on and stuff, but I think the days of us just this is how this works, and you really need to understand this are kind of dwindling. Now it's going to be more we just this is kind of what I experienced. What did you experience? Oh, okay.
And one of the things too with the two guest speakers that we had on the past episodes, those were in areas that we didn't have a lot of knowledge on or experience on. We talked about Greek life. Neither one of us was in Greek life.
Yeah.
We talked about being an athlete in school. I was an athlete in school, but it was in a different situation. It was a smaller school, and it wasn't as hardcore as you would get in a bigger school. Oh, yeah. So these are areas that we had just identified ourselves that, hey, we're deficient in our experience in these areas. We need to bring somebody else on. I'm very interested to see how bringing on somebody else in an area that we are experienced in is going to work, especially with somebody who, like I said, has a very he's like my personality in terms of joking, but to the extreme. And it's so funny. Yeah. And I say to the extreme as in not a bad thing. It adds so much to, for our situations, it adds so much to our faculty meetings.
Yeah. It makes something that's otherwise plain and boring. I don't know, entertaining, right? It puts
Even
on a
his
show, so.
even his emails are funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so we gotta root out some of these characters and bring them on to the show, right?
Yeah, we
get
definitely
them
do.
involved in the conversation.
Have your ambitions for the show changed any over the past year?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought, I guess early on, I was seeing this more as a serious thing, more as a learning side thing for everybody, where it was just going to be useful resources. People going to college, people considering colleges, parents who are trying to get some, I don't know, understanding of what they're going to experience, particularly if they're, had not gone to college themselves type scenario. And then the professionalism stuff, all that kind of stuff. But now, all that stuff is out there and hopefully, like I say, it's useful to people. But now I am in the zone that I kind of want to entertain people more.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Right? I'm not just trying to, improve their lives. I'm just, at this point, I'm just trying to say, hopefully they'll want to listen to us, right? Because this is fun for me. Hopefully it'll be fun for them.
Yeah, one of the things that I realized when we first started to where we are now is, I guess my thought, and this was not me forward thinking by any stretch, obviously. I should have done better with this, but I kind of assumed that we were talking to, or at least the plans were for this podcast, we were going to talk to a group of people. And that group of people was going to need everything that we talk about. And as we went through and created these series, I started to realize that these are not a group of people. These are different groups of people that we're really trying to help out. Whether you be high school students or your college students, or you're into your college career, moving into your professional career, or those in your professional career, we have different groups for each of our series that is our target market. And once I realized that, I realized, okay, this is really interesting because we have different dynamics really for each group too. Mm-hmm. And I love that about the show is we can take a topic that is meant for one, try to put some personality into it, also bring it to some level of information that you can use, but we do it in a way where it is not isolating that group. So when we're talking about pre-college series, which would be more for the high schoolers, I feel like we've figured out a way to talk about topics that are geared towards high school students, but where college students can still listen and get entertainment from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me was something that I was not expecting, and maybe it's not coming true. It's just kind of how I feel. Maybe the listeners think otherwise, but it's just kind of how I envision it now. Is like you said, it's more of entertainment. Like it's not simply, we want to give you information, we want to give you valuable information, but we also want to do it in an entertaining way.
Yeah. Something you actually don't mind plugging in and listening to when you go on a car trip. We don't put you to sleep.
We try not to, at least. And two, I've gotten texts and emails from people that talk about, just started listening to your show. This is great. Have you ever thought about, and this is why we say at the beginning of each show, send us your thoughts, send us your requests, send us the things that you want us to talk about, because I get texts and emails all the time from people that I've known. I've actually had past students who have graduated and now have jobs, professional jobs. They email me and said, "Hey, I just saw your podcast. I think it's a really good idea. Have you thought about talking about this idea?" And I thought, that's a great idea. I didn't think about that one. And we put it on the dock. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so valuable for us as, the hosts to hear from our listeners, because we can only talk about what we can think of. Maybe you're thinking of something different that you need help with. So that's probably another one, is hopefully we're going to get a lot more communication with our listeners, because that's something that's valuable to us and valuable to you.
That's one of my aspirations for the coming year, right? Be more involved. I also want to continue to have outreach and stuff, maybe do a public podcast at some point, right? With an audience there type scenario.
That would be fun.
Great. Right, because we've both dreamed about the public speaking aspect, and we've done some public speaking in the past type scenario. So to integrate what we're doing here with that environment, that's an aspiration, right? And it may not happen in this coming year, but you keep the fingers crossed, and maybe it will, right?
Yeah.
So anything else you were aspiring to, or anything else you want to, target for the coming year?
I think the biggest goal that we had when we first started this is, and we both said this, is we wanted to produce something that would help at least one person. If we could help one person, then we've done our job. Everybody else is just extra gravy. And I still to this day hold that goal. I don't want to change that goal. I don't want to try to be, my goal is not to hit millions of people that listen to it. My goal is to get one person that actually helps. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that will ever change. And so I will stick with that ambition from the very beginning.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully we can.
Hopefully. What do you see the next year of episodes? Where do you see it going?
Well, again, I want to do a lot of opinion-based stuff. Yep. Things that kind of give our opinion on this and explain why, but less about how this works. We might have to do a little intro. This is how this works. And then, a lot of that type of stuff, because I believe that gives more room for people to have an opinion and voice that opinion to us, right? So we can, and, maybe some series stuff. So, 2 or 3 weeks worth of stuff is kind of on the same topic, which just means a deeper dive, but integrating other people's points of views, integrating things we hear on comments and stuff like that. That would be awesome. What about with you?
I guess you'll say my goal for the next year, kind of speaking on what you're talking about with opinions, I would love to find one topic that we are polar opposites on. That when we give our opinion, we're completely at opposite ends of the spectrum. So that way, when we do give our opinions, we're really covering any listener that listens to us on both sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
I think that would be
Mexican
really,
versus
really fun.
Mediterranean food. Go.
I don't know, because it's hard for me not to like Mexican food. We had that the other night. I like Middle Eastern food naturally because that's what I grew up on. But if you were to tell me, hey, we have to choose between Mexican and Middle Eastern, it would be a tough decision.
Oh, man.
Because Middle Eastern does
Mexican
not give you
anything is a tough choice because tacos are the jam. That's all it is to it.
Well, I was going to say Middle Eastern does not come with chips and queso. Matter of fact, my daughter we're having her birthday party tomorrow. And I have to cook. My wife is I can smell it right now. She is baking the cake for my daughter's birthday party, and I have to cook, and we're having a taco bar.
Nice. Well, this is a big one. Flour tortillas, corn tortillas. Which one?
Well, we're having both. So we're going to have soft shell and hard shell.
What's your preference?
My preference is going to be flour.
Okay.
My preference. Are you now? Here's my question. Are you a guac person?
Oh yeah.
See, I'm not. I'm not a guac. I'm not. Ugh.
So you're a pure sour cream and queso man.
Yeah, pretty much sour. I'm not even so much sour cream. I'm just queso and salsa. Give me queso and salsa. I'm happy.
There you go. Well, see, I told people on the episode before I studied in Chile for a semester, and they are one of, if not the world's largest producer of avocados. Mm-hmm. And so every morning, fresh avocados, right? You slice them up, you mash them into, it's not like guacamole because it's really, all you do is mash up the avocado with a little salt and usually some lemon squeezed into it, right? Not the other onions and peppers and stuff or cilantro that you oftentimes, put into it for a more Mexican style dish. But that became a staple for me, fresh bread sliced, hot from the bakery, because there's always a bakery on every corner in Hispanic America. That's just what they do. Hispano America, right? Middle and South America. So go get the fresh bread, slather on that avocado. So you make some
avocado toast.
Oh, it's just so good. I mean, it's just that
now,
instead of jelly.
My preference when I go to Mexican restaurants is I usually get Mexican tacos, which are it has corn tortillas. So I guess that would be my preference for those. But all it has is the meat, the cilantro, and the onions. I love that. Give me that. Oh, man. And some lime. That's all I want.
All right. So here's a big one as well. All right. We're down this rabbit hole. We could do a whole show about this.
Let's.
Right. I mean, pork, beef, or chicken, right? Which one do you go with?
I'm a steak person, and and close second is chicken. I'm not a big now carnitas I love, but the lowest one on my scale is the hamburger ground beef. I cannot eat that.
Well, see, but that's the ground beef one's the traditional Mexican.
I know.
The flour tortilla with the pulled pork is traditional Caribbean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you
give me some chopped steak.
You like Americanized tacos.
That's I do. What you like. I know. Yeah, you're right. I do. Give me some chopped steak, some carne asada. That's where my heart lives. Well, that's been interesting. Love going down that rabbit hole.
Yep, that's the kind of shows we're going to do in the future, guys. It is going to be nothing but that because
just Mexican food and Middle Eastern food.
These are important things you need to understand in life, right?
Oh yeah, if you don't have a good understanding of Mexican food, you will not make it out of college.
Yeah. Next on the docket. Sweet barbecue sauce, mustard-based barbecue sauce.
Oh,
right?
You're going barbecue now? Oh, yeah, gracious! Oh, yeah, right. You got to throw in Alabama white sauce too.
Oh yeah, that's
whatever, coming up.
Whatever that is, but yeah.
Well, I think we've talked about this before. Are you a pineapple on pizza person?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not. I
eat it all the time. All the time.
If it's there, I will eat it because it's the only thing I have the option to eat. But I will never order it.
I hear you. Yeah.
So, well, that's been great. That's I love that topic. Well,
more to come. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode because I know we sure did. Jason, you have anything to say on our 52nd wrap up?
Yes. Happy birthday to us. Give us a present
Amen.
By going to our website and shouting out. Right.
Giving us those 5 stars.
Yeah, let us know what you're thinking. Give us those 5 stars. Tell every friend you have about us, and tell them you're not going to give them a Christmas present or ever talk to them again if they don't start listening to us. That's what we're asking for. Not much.
Not much, yeah. No, I asked for more from my kids for my birthday. Well, we hope you have enjoyed all 52 episodes that we have put out there, and hopefully you will continue to listen to us for the next 52. So, as always, until next time, we hope to see you there. Goodbye.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Reschool'd podcast. Be sure to head over to reschool'd.com for news and other information on things we're getting into.